We are Random Respawn, and this is Random Recommendations, showing off games that are remarkable, relaxing, refreshing, radical, or just really, really fun. Hey everyone, Calebyte here. In this episode we're looking at Strafe. Strafe is an unapologetic roguelike shooter focused on speed, gibs, and secrets. The marketing material for Strafe is just fantastic, especially if you were around to experience the 90s firsthand. The tongue-in-cheek website alone is an amazing throwback to that era. I mean, seriously, check it out, strafe1996.com. They were so committed to the 1996 joke that the game is even priced at $19.96 on Steam, and I appreciate that little detail. The game proper pays homage to the old-school shooters in a variety of ways. Crappy FMV tutorials, blocky polygon enemies that burst with blood, super fast movement, and unrelenting difficulty. It all reminds me of that age gone by. Developed by Pixel Titans, Strafe released on May 9th, 2017, and it's available for $20 on PC, Mac, Linux, and PS4. So far, this is the most polarizing game I'm showing you, sitting at an overall mixed rating on its Steam store page. I think part of the problem actually comes from that awesome marketing material I was just talking about. Even though the design is clearly inspired by the 90s era shooters, the game does not really play like one of those titles. This is a roguelike shooter with permadeath, and it's not quite the same experience of Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem, or Serious Sam. There are a lot of mechanics present that weren't staples in the 90s. Randomized levels, throwaway pickup weapons, very few health items, headshot damage, and discarding your extra ammo on reload, just to name a few. This has put Strafe in an odd place. It's clearly a throwback, but not quite what people expected, and there's a bit of an identity crisis. I think they were going with a best of both worlds kind of approach, mixing the new mechanics with old design elements, but they didn't quite communicate that well enough. And of course, being inspired by the olden days, none of the mechanics are really explained. It was only after completely running out of ammo on the second level when I realized something was wrong and I needed to quell my compulsive reloading because I was throwing away extra rounds. Another difference in design from Doom or Quake is the sheer number of enemies that chase you indefinitely. It reminded me of the headless suicide bomb guys from Serious Sam, but with every single enemy. This unfortunately leaves you firing into a mass of enemies you're trying to funnel down a hallway more often than actually, well, strafing. That said, it is a fun game, but it can be pretty frustrating, and the lack of permanent unlocks can definitely be a turnoff for some. The only permanent progression comes in the form of teleporters that you can construct between the four main environments, and you have to be able to consistently pass the previous environment to even be able to start building one. This adds a lot of weight to each death, as it's possible to not really make any progress across multiple runs. Outside the main game, there is a fun survival mode called Murder Zone, and it does have permanent upgrades that you can unlock over time. What made Strafe fun for me was really the level design and overall simplicity. The procedural generation is handled well, and I actually enjoy exploring each of the levels trying to find the secrets and upgrades. There are fixed set pieces that keep it feeling grounded and consistent, but the actual layout can be surprisingly different, and the four environments are very distinct, and that gives a nice sense of progression. In addition to the random layouts, there are lots of secrets in the form of rooms, levels, weapons, and enemy spawners. Some of the secret weapons are really awesome and are excellent references to other games, but unfortunately, like all other weapon pickups, they're a one-clip throwaway item. As far as simplicity, well, there are only 3 starting weapons to choose from: a machine gun, a shotgun, and a railgun, each with an alternate fire option. You find pickups to improve their damage, accuracy, rate of fire, and ammo capacity, as well as a couple machines that can upgrade the firing properties on the main weapon, but that's about it. There is some comfort in that simplicity though, as each option is good, you just pick your preference and get shooting. There's also that feeling of just getting in the zone, something I haven't felt in a shooter in a very long time. It's running, gunning, jumping, and that's it. I'm not thinking about strategy or resource management, I'm just shooting dudes in the face. The best example I can give is when you get into that groove and you're just able to navigate a level backwards while killing enemies without even thinking about it. One downside though is that you'll basically need to navigate the levels by memory anyway, because even though there is a map feature, it literally hurts my brain to look at it. Personally, I enjoyed Strafe. Is it worth $20? Probably not, but it's definitely one to grab on sale. The developers have been pretty active so far, fixing bugs and making general improvements, which leaves me hopeful for the game's future. If you like the sound of a retro-inspired roguelike shooter, keep an eye out for a discount on this one. Just be prepared for the soul-crushing defeat that awaits you every time you die. Thanks for tuning in to this installment of Random Recommendations. If you've played any of the games I've covered in this series, I'm really interested in hearing about your experience. If you'd like to make a suggestion for a future episode, leave a comment below, hit us up on Twitter @randomrespawn, or come chat with me during a live stream. Whatever the method, I look forward to hearing from you. Take care, Calebyte out. But not quite what people expected, and there's a bit of an identity. So far, this is the most polarizing game I'm showing you, sitting at an blur, each with an alternative fire mode.